we've talked about the idea of being the tortoise and not being impulsive like the hare, shooting from the hip or feeling like I'm just going to take advantage of every want I have in life because I live once and I deserve it. I work hard, and whatever way you rationalize spending money or spending your time or spending your energy. What I hope our listeners are taking away from this episode is if you slow down and be the tortoise, do some planning, pause and evaluate, right, where you are currently and where you want to go, then really your actions will align with what you want in life versus just being on this hamster wheel of, I'm going so fast, but I'm really not getting anywhere. Yeah. So for me, the tortoise, the picture I have hanging in my bathroom cupboard was a card somebody sent me once. And it's a very beautiful artwork painting of a tortoise on a path, walking past poppy fields, headed towards trees. And I probably don't look at it every day because it's been hanging in my bathroom cupboard for years now. But I did this morning because I knew we were filming this episode. And truly, that to me is contentment. This tortoise is content on this path, headed towards its future, enjoying life, stopping smelling the roses, not feeling like you have to keep up with the Joneses or always just be impulsive by living in the moment, right? There is a time and place for that. We're not saying never live in the moment, never make a urgent or impulsive action in your life. But if that is overwhelmingly the majority of how you're living your life, then going back to Donald's earlier point of making dinner every night probably isn't fun for you and your household, right? If you're always in that moment, it's 5:00. What am I going to cook? What am I feeding the kids
scramble.
Tonight? Yeah. Now I'm spending more money because instead of going to the grocery store to buy my groceries for the week, I'm running to a convenience store and I'm picking up the things that I need. So you're just perpetuating this. I don't know if drama is the right word, but maybe Donald can help me out with this word of you're living in this heightened state of.
I think it causes stress and anxiety.
Spending more money.
Yeah, it all falls in the category of stress and anxiety, and it's unnecessary,
yes,
right? There are things that, just like with the urgency, we talked about urgency, and if it's life or death, that is urgent, right? That is very, very urgent. And so there are things that just inherently induce stress, right, and anxiety, and those things are always going to be there. So why would you want to invite that into other areas of your life where it's avoidable, right? And the tortoise, he walked by the hare. I'm remembering more of the story. I love you sharing the picture, that you have in your house of the tortoise. If you get a picture of that, I'll make sure it makes it into the episode so people can see that picture. But if I remember the story correctly, the tortoise walks by the hare at one point, and the hare is actively trying to distract the tortoise, saying, "Come over here, come check this out, get off the path. You don't need to spend all your time in the race. Look at me, I'm sitting here hanging out, chilling, having a good time, right? You can be like me." And the hare is doing a couple of things. He's bragging a little bit and kind of showing his true colors and being, and the ego is coming out. But the other thing he's doing is trying to sabotage the race, right? He wants the tortoise to become distracted and get off the path. And the tortoise takes fewer steps, slower steps, but never stops moving. And, the key to this whole formula, Christine, you mentioned it, the word action. We have to take actions. If the tortoise just stood at the start line, he doesn't win the race, right? But the tortoise never stopped moving. He wasn't moving fast, but he was moving very intentionally. He knew where he was going. He knew what his job was. He knew what the task was. And, it's not his whole life, but for that activity, for that event, he was very clear on the goal and the actions that were necessary to achieve the goal. And the hare maybe wasn't as focused, wasn't as clear on what the goal was. He just kind of assumed that the win was his for the taking, and he decided to stop and enjoy life or smell the flowers along the way, and he ended up indulging a little bit too much, right? So I think taking that action, being very clear on where you're going, is so critical, and not to make that. I don't want that to be anxiety inducing. If you don't know where you're going, that's okay.